tyrant with a radical agenda. He promoted anti-Americanism, anti-Semitism. He suppressed civil liberties, but that did not stop liberal lawmakers and left-wing Hollywood stars from praising fallen Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez after his death yesterday. Now, most notably, former President Jimmy Carter, who wrote these, quote, kind words about the dictator. We came to know a man who expressed a vision to bring profound changes to his country to benefit especially those people who had felt neglected and marginalized. Although we have not agreed with all of the methods followed by his government, we have never doubted Hugo Chavez's commitment to improving the lives of millions of his fellow countrymen. Now, he was not the only liberal politician who expressed admiration for Chavez, the dictator. New York Congressman Jose Serrano tweeted, Hugo Chavez was a leader that understood the needs of the poor. He was committed to empowering the powerless. Rest in peace, Mr. President. And from Hollywood, actor Sean Penn said this in an interview, quote, only hours after his death. Today, the people of the United States lost a friend it never knew it had. The poor people around the world, they lost a champion. Then there was filmmaker Oliver Stone. He added this, quote, I mourn a great hero to the majority of the people and those who struggle throughout the world for a place. My friend, rest finally in a peace long earned. Joining me now with reaction to the unwarranted praise of a dictator, syndicated columnist and author, Fox News contributor Michelle Malkin. I don't know what I want to say. More than anything else, let's go to Hugo Chavez talking about our president the day after he spoke at the United Nations to remind people of what he thought of America and Americans' president.
Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here. Right here. And it smells of sulfur still today. This table that I am now standing in front of. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, from this rostrum, the President of the United States, the gentleman to whom I refer as the devil, came here.
I could smell the sulfur from Bush being there the day before. The President of the United States, the devil. Great guy.
Yeah.
That was someone to praise, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to mince words. I hope that Hugo Chavez is choking on sulfur right now and rotting in hell. And I'm not alone. The oppressed people of Venezuela have felt the same way. And while all of these liberal politicians and these Chavistas in Hollywood and the media are heaping praise like an asylum full of propaganda tools and useful idiots, stampeding them over themselves to elevate Hugo Chavez, it's the people of Venezuela who know that he turned their country into a socialist hellhole. The crime rate, the inflation, the food shortages, the electricity shortages, ravaging the economy and turning it into really one of the most miserable places on earth, while Hugo Chavez was amassing a $2 billion personal fortune, nationalizing all of the industries and crushing free people. I am not surprised, I'm not shocked by the likes of Oliver Stone and Michael Moore and Jimmy Carter. I think what's more sickening to me, and we've been compiling all of the disgusting, emetic-inducing tweets at my Twitchy.com site, it's the liberal media. I mean, it's the people who wear their Che Guevara and Chavista berets in their little cubby holes as they pretend to be objective. I mean, here's just a sample of them, and they're just, you know, beyond parody. Larry King. I interviewed Hugo Chavez a few years ago in New York. I remember he walked into the interview singing. They called him a firebrand. This is from a Washington Post reporter talking about how Chavez once sang "O Solo Mio" and calling him a fighter. That's the Associated Press.
Let me jump in here because, and by the way, the first thing that I thought of was Michael Moore's Cuban healthcare system didn't do a whole lot to save Hugo Chavez's life. Maybe he might consider Sloan Kettering the next time he starts bragging about Cuba's great medical system. But
right.
Sean Penn annoys me. Oliver Stone, they're just dumb Hollywood actors. Michael Moore, they don't impress me that much. Jimmy Carter, that bothers me some, but I think the person that was the worst in terms of sucking up to this dictator and allowing himself and his family name to be used by the dictator was none other than Joe Kennedy. Watch this ad that he ran and he was a part of.
For far too many Americans, wintertime means cold and suffering, and they just can't pay their heating bill. Do you greet every oil man this way, Captain?
Only the ones I love.
But help is on the way. Millions of gallons of heating oil for needy families at 40% off. From our good friends in Venezuela, Citgo and Citizens Energy, your nonprofit energy company. I'm Joe Kennedy. If you need help staying warm this winter, call 1-800-315-8249 because no one should be left out in the cold.
Oh, yeah, we're just going to ask Hugo Chavez to help us.
Yeah, well, he's got Tool tattooed on his forehead. Joe Kennedy does.
Very well said.
At least Kennedy is not in the White House. I mean, the lack of any kind of resolve from our Nobel Peace Prize winner to dictator a dictator. Go back and read Obama's wishy-washy statement on this evil man, and it just really sums it all up about the left and their coddling of evil.
Michelle Malkin, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us.
You bet.